Hey guys, I'm checking in with you again. I had some thoughts on some stuff. I wanted to share something that I hope is useful for you guys. I've had a lot of relationships over my adult life. Some of them were easy to walk away from and be done, and those relationships were the ones usually that started falling apart before we ever broke up. Like the relationship was done even though we were still together. And then there's the other kind of relationship where you just never really anticipated the breakup happening and it's super painful and you go through a long mourning healing process. And I want to talk about something that can help you in dealing with the second kind of breakup. So, I had a realization after one of my serious relationships ended, and it kind of hit me out of nowhere. I was listening to a brain hack video and just different ways on expanding your consciousness. And it wasn't a video about relationships, but it just got my brain kind of rolling about mentality and stuff. And I kind of had an epiphany. I was like, you know what? Nobody owes you anything. When you break up with somebody or someone breaks up with you, literally, neither of you owe the other person anything. An explanation isn't even you are not owed an explanation. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, they can literally go, I don't like the way the sky looks. I don't like the way the clouds look today. I think I don't want to be with you. And listen, that sounds crazy, right? But that is literally 100% their right, just as much as it's 100% your right. You are not obligated to stay with anybody. You are not obligated to share your space, your time, your energy, your heart. You're just not. And at the end of the day, you're two essentially, hopefully, you became not strangers as you got to know each other. But at the end of the day, you were two strangers who met and came to a mutual agreement that, hey, we both like each other. We are going to monogamously date each other because we enjoy each other's company. And when something changes, and it could be literally anything, that agreement does not exist anymore. When somebody decides that they don't want to be with you, or you decide that you don't want to be with somebody, and you don't owe them anything and they don't owe you anything. And here's something that may be controversial, but here's my opinion. Let's imagine that, even, worst case scenario, you think that they were cheating on you all along, or towards the end of the relationship they were cheating on you. Okay, it would be nice, it would be considerate, it would be a great thing to do for them to apologize, for you to get some sort of explanation. They still, in that circumstance, they still do not owe you an explanation. Chalk it up to them being an asshole and let it go. And, the reason why I say that is because it may be your personal value that lying's not okay, that cheating's not okay. You may believe that being impeccable with your word is the right thing to do, but that's your belief. That's your belief system. That does not mean that the other person honors that kind of value. And this is where I want to say, like, it is really important not to rush into relationships, because you won't know someone's like deep core values until you know them well. And you may think you might, and you'll be surprised at the things that you'll find out. Once you go through a breakup, you really find out a lot more about the person than a lot of the months or years that you spent with them. And that really sucks. But a breakup really reveals a lot about someone's character, how they handle it. And yes, people do say and do things out of pain that they don't fully mean. And maybe you at some point you get an apology. Maybe at some point you get to know, like, yeah, I was just so heartbroken and mad I said that about you at the end. Maybe you guys get to talk in the future and you get told that, and that can be a little bit of a relief. But you know what? Most of the time that's not going to happen. You're not going to get that information. And so I don't remember off the top of my head what they call this, but our brain doesn't like missing pieces. We want a full loop of information. We try to fill in the gaps ourselves when we don't have that information. And like I said, honestly, most of the time you're not going to get that information that you want. You're not going to get the resolution that you want. So you have to make a decision for yourself that first of all, you're going to forgive yourself. I've always said this, and I've actually dated people who have argued this with me, literally have tried to blame the whole downfall of our relationship solely on me. That's literally impossible. Was I dating myself? I was not. Yes, one partner can contribute more to the destruction of a relationship than the other partner. But at the end of the day, it still takes two people. It takes two people to make it work. It takes two people to make it fall apart. So anyways, our brain likes a continuous loop of information. We want a circle. We want to close. We don't want a gap. We don't want to see. We want to know. We want to have closure. That's why we want closure so bad, because there's a part of our brain that just cannot. And you can go and some people will go and fill in the blanks with that information. That's a false narrative. And some people will find a way to be okay with letting that sea stay open. They'll find a way to handle that. And that's what I want you to do. If you can't get closure, you're not owed anything by that other person, not even an explanation at the end of the day. So when you think about it that way, you're responsible for yourself and your own feelings, and only you can torture yourself. And I've heard this before. I don't know if you've heard it. People don't break your heart. You break your own heart. And a lot of what that is expectations. You start to have visions in your head of how the future is going to be with this person, what you're going to do together. And yeah, you might even have plans together, and you've both agreed that this is what's going to happen in the future. Nothing's ever guaranteed. And when the relationship ends, you're not just losing that person, that companionship, that lover, that friend. You're also losing these dreams that you thought, that were going to transpire someday. And that is one of the huge parts. And it takes a while to learn how to separate. Okay, am I actually really sad that I lost this person? Everything about this person I liked so much, and nobody else could ever come close to this person. Or is it maybe that you had created these fantasies and dreams in your head about what was going to happen based on this relationship being permanent? So if you can separate the two, and honestly, yeah, sure, it might be a little bit of both, but oftentimes it's a lot more that your expectations didn't get fulfilled, your dreams didn't get fulfilled, and that's what's really breaking your heart. There are so many people out in this world, and you might be really compatible with somebody and it doesn't work out. That doesn't mean that there's not like 10 other people that are not compatible with you. There might be, how many people are on this planet? How many people are in your city alone? And I know that it's really hard to think that way when you're longing for one specific person. So, I've been through really, really heart-wrenching breakups. Just felt absolutely crushed and destroyed. Felt like I could never love anybody else again. Was that true? No. I had got into another relationship. Was it immediately? No. Usually it's when you least expect it. And so the first thing you need to do is forgive yourself. Let yourself know, I'm human. There's no rule book written on how to live my particular experience. I'm learning as I go. Hopefully you're learning as you go. You're learning from these things that happen. And a lot of times you do learn the best through pains and hardships. So forgive yourself. I'm a human. I made mistakes. I love myself though. I know who I am. I know I tried at the end of the day. I could have done this or that better, but I'm a person. I'm a human. I'm just a person, and I'm learning. And I'm trying to grow as I go through life and get better so that I don't have to experience these same things over and over again. And then second, you can forgive that person even if you never get to physically do it. If you never talk to that person again and you never see their face again, you can still forgive them. So an exercise that if you want, sometimes turning things in your head into physical things makes it easier for our brain to fully accept it. So for example, you can write an apology letter to this person for your part of what happened, and you can then burn that letter, send it off, bury it, throw it in the sea. Okay, I'm not recommending littering, but you know what I mean. Take it out of your brain, put it on something physical, and then get rid of it. That's if you don't have the opportunity to talk to this person in the future. And of course, I want to say that I hope for everybody that if you had a bad falling out with somebody that you really, truly care about and love, I wish that, I wish that you do get an opportunity someday to tell that person that you're sorry and that you've forgiven them and that you've forgiven yourself. I hope that for everybody, but that doesn't happen that often. So anyway, I want to leave you with that. And I'm sorry. I'm getting a little emotional here. It is very effective to help you move on if you tell yourself that that person doesn't owe you anything and you forgive yourself and you forgive them. And one more quick thing. Healing is not a linear process. Healing is like this. So you might feel like you're doing really good. You've gotten over the worst of it, and randomly out of nowhere, some song comes on or some memory pops up into your head and you just fall apart all over again, and you're gonna be mad at yourself. Like, I thought I was doing so good. You are doing so good, but there's gonna be points that are low out of nowhere, and then there's gonna be times where you don't think about them for a long time. And it's like this. It's not like this. It's all over the place. But eventually the lows get less and less and less until you feel like, you have moved on. But anyways, I wish you the best in love and relationships, and I hope that helps.